it's Dr. Joe. Welcome to episode 4 of Bring On 60. It's weird, I can't even believe we're already on episode 4. I feel like we just started doing this weekly show, and I guess the scary part means that if I'm already on episode 4, my 60th birthday is getting that much closer. So, but it's okay, bring it on, like the show says, right? Beautiful New England winter day. It's probably about 30 degrees out, but the sun is really bright. It's awesome. On my way to the gym for a workout. And so a couple things today. First off, like I said, we're on episode 4. If anyone has any ideas or anything they want to see on the show, just write in. Let me know what you'd like me to go over or talk about. I'm looking for ideas, so I'm up for suggestions. So make some suggestions. I'll do that if it's something I think everyone will think it'll be interesting. I'll definitely do a segment on whatever your suggestion is. So anyway, send in your comments, your questions. More than happy to. I try to do the best I can to get back to everybody. Anyway, so today what we're gonna focus on is kind of like the working through injuries as you're training, especially anyone who's anywhere near my age, or any adult, 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, you're gonna train with aches and pains, right? So I've talked about it on the previous episodes. I'm still recovering from the fall I took on a trail run. My left shoulder, my right wrist, those are doing much better. They're coming along. There's still little aches and pains. Nothing that's interfering with working out, but I've had the right shoulder, which has been more of a problem, and that's something I've dealt with over time. So what I want to do today is just kind of show you some of the stuff I do to work through an injury such as a shoulder problem. I'm going to go over some of the stuff I do before I work out, so that I can get my workout in, feel good, and not make the injury worse. So I'll go over that today. We're going to give you some ideas on what you can do. I know there's a lot of people watching that shoulders are a common problem for adults, for my age group. A lot of injuries, a lot of aches and pains in the shoulders. Get some arthritic changes in those shoulders, and it makes it a little less fun to work out. But it doesn't mean you can't work out. You just have to do the right things, and that's what we're going to go over today. So and then of course, like we've been doing every week, after we work out today, I will do a weigh-in. I'll do a physique update, so we'll be doing that in a little while. But yeah, it's funny, I was thinking about when I was thinking of doing this for today's episode about going over rehab exercises, I was thinking to myself, like, anyone out there that's an adult, that's training, that's working out hard, I always tip my hat to everybody, because it is not easy to keep working out hard as you get older, right? Everyone knows that. It's a lot easier when you're 20 years old, right? I know everyone who's watching this that's, like I said, 40, 50, 60 years old, you know what I'm talking about. There is more aches and pains, and there's no way around it. We all get arthritic changes. It's okay, part of the natural aging process. We all get more aches and pains as we get older. And I admire everyone who keeps working out, because it's not easy to do. It's easier when you are younger, and that's why a lot of people stop. I hear it all the time. I can't work out anymore. My knees aches, or my shoulder hurts. It's like, yeah, I know. But that's the people that keep pushing it. Like I said, my hat's off to you, because it's not easy. It's something you learn to live with, the discomfort, the push. You push through your workouts. You're gonna have some aches and pains. I've talked about this before too. If you're taking over-the-counter pain relievers and anti-inflammatories when you're 20 and 25, you don't stand a chance when you get to 60, man. Let me tell you. Get used to the pain as early as you can, because it ain't getting any better. And if you can't handle the discomfort and you're taking anti-inflammatories and pain meds that are over-the-counter meds to help you get through your workouts and your 20, 25, 30, forget about it. Get used to it. I don't take any of that stuff. I never have. I never will. I like to know what hurts. I like to know, I feel like you take stuff, it's like taking the batteries out of the smoke detector. I want to know where the pain is. I want to know where it's coming from so that I can go after it and try to get it better. And, if you can't get used to the discomfort, then you're never going to work out when you get older. So it's just part of the game of training, and it happens more as we all age. And you just gotta laugh about it. Just get used to it. You wake up in the morning. Yeah, who isn't stiff in the morning, right? I mean, everyone is, right? Any adult that works out, you get up, your back feels stiff, your shoulders feel stiff, right? I mean, it's some mornings I laugh about it as I'm like, whoa, like that was a good workout yesterday. You feel that workout from the day before or even 2 days before, and it's just all part of it. So anyways, best of luck. Like I said, I admire everyone who's watching this, that's watching it because they're working out. You're awesome. It's so great. You want to keep moving. The last thing you want to do is not exercise as we get older. You want to keep at it. I hate when I have patients come into my office that have seen their doctors, their primary physicians, and they're told that they have arthritis, and their doctor literally tells them to not work out. I just want to, can I say this? I just want to go over to their office and like punch them in the face. That's what I want to do. I can't stand when someone tells someone, like a doctor tells a patient that they shouldn't work out as they're getting older because they have arthritis. I mean, that just that makes me so mad. The best thing for arthritic changes as we get older is to keep the blood flowing, is to keep working out, to keep training. It's so much better for the joints. The worst thing for the joints as we get older is being sedentary. Working out increases blood flow, it increases nutrition to the joints. It's the best thing you can be doing. So if you're not working out, get working out. If you are working out, good for you. And also, when it comes to one of the problems as we get older, bone density, especially for women that are watching, osteopenia that can turn into osteoporosis. One of the number one things you can do for that is strength training. Put more pressure on those bones, make the bones stronger. That's how bones react to the stress we place on them. And if we get into our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and we're no longer putting stress on those bones, they get weaker. And so it's so important to keep working out as we age. It's the way we stay healthy. It's the best thing in the world for us. So, like I said, for those of you who aren't currently working out that much, maybe you're just doing a little bit and you want to do more, that's awesome. Keep watching, bring on 60, keep adding on a little bit every day, keep adding on every week, every month, doing a little bit more. And for those of you that are hitting it hard like I do, awesome. Best of luck to everybody. So anyways, we're heading into the gym and we're gonna go over some shoulder rehab stuff. Okay, so let me share with you a few things that I do to get my shoulders ready for a workout. The goal is to get through a great workout without aggravating any current problems. I don't want to make anything worse. Most problems that you're working out with that maybe you got some knee discomfort, a shoulder discomfort, whatever's bothering you and it's annoying during the day. Most of these type of things are inflammation type of problems like tendinitis or just some type of inflammation. And usually if you warm it up properly, it actually feels pretty good once it's warmed up, right? I mean, you probably know from working out that usually, if you have a sore shoulder, once you get going, it actually feels pretty good. And so the key is to get it warmed up, get blood flowing in there, loosen the area up, get it feeling good, and get through your workout. Now, is it going to be sore a couple hours later or a few hours later? Most likely. But as long as we didn't make it worse, at least we got through our training, and we can deal with it later and try to take care of it later with some other type of rehab and therapy type of things. And we've gone over all this type of stuff on previous OcraMed Health videos. But the key here right now is that I want to just get through my workout safely, have a great workout, and not cause any further problems. So shoulders, everything I do on the right, I do on the left. Right now, both are kind of bothering me, but even if one was only bothering me, I would do everything equally on both sides. The first thing I do is I want to get blood flowing into the tissue. You come in, you want to get blood flowing. Now, if you don't have anything to use at home, just use your knuckles on everything I show you right now. You can use your knuckles. I'm using the Game Changer from OcraMed Health. I love this thing. I use it every workout on different body parts to get blood flowing. So I take this, and for shoulder day in here, I just go over all the musculature in the chest and shoulder with this thing. I'm not trying to do any fascia release work. This is just two textured massage balls on a roller. I'm not trying to break up adhesions. I'm just trying to get blood flowing with this thing. Like I said, if you don't have it, use your knuckles, but I'll take it over the pecs, into the front of the shoulder, across the delts. It feels really good, but the best part is when you're done after a couple minutes with this thing, everything's got blood in it. Everything's got blood flow. And a lot of times, if I do have a little ache or pain in my shoulder, just doing this alone gets rid of it a lot of times. It just feels a lot better. Now, if I come across an area and I do feel like a little tenderness, a little stiffness, I'll spend a little extra time, maybe an extra 30 seconds kind of rubbing through that area. And I'll just go over the delts. This thing is great. You can get up on the kind of the upper trapezius, come from the base of the skull where the upper trapezius attaches, and just come down into the upper trapezius, just like that. So I'll go over that, just to get blood flow through the muscles of the neck, the upper trap. I'll bring the arm up, kind of hit that tricep, because the tricep, the long head of the tricep attaches into the shoulder blade, into the scapula, which obviously affects shoulder motion. So we want to make sure that we go over the tricep, just into the bicep, and just go all over the place. Like I said, if you find a particular knot, spend a little extra time. But in a couple minutes of going over it with the massager, already feels looser, feels better. And we can move on to some light stretching. Now, I don't try to overstretch before I train, but it's absolutely fine to warm up and stretch before you train. I've talked about this on other videos. For those of you out there that are going to, show me some random research study that decreases your strength, that strength decreases by 15% if you stretch first before you work out, good. Who cares, right? Am I going for some national powerlifting championship? Am I training? I think it's ridiculous. In other words, like, who cares if you're a little bit, I don't even know if it's true. I mean, maybe there's a research study. I've seen people sometimes will put up a research study. Whatever. I mean, I don't care, because it's like, I'm not, unless you're like in the, small percentage of people that compete as powerlifters, do your thing. I mean, this isn't for you, do your thing. If you're a powerlifter, awesome, and you have a way of training and you may not want to stretch, fine. The rest of us, if doing some stretching that saves me an injury in my shoulder means that I'm going to do dumbbell presses with 60 pounds instead of 65 pounds that day, great. I'll use the 60s and I'll be safe. All right? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, we want to just be safe and healthy. We're just trying to, work out as we get older. And if stretching out does in fact decrease a little bit of strength, who cares, right? So I always go through stretching. It prevents injuries. And so let me just show you some of the stretches I go through on my shoulders before I train. Get a broomstick. Broomsticks or a piece of PVC piping come in really handy when it's time to stretch out the shoulders. So the first thing I always do is I just grab the broomstick and I do some stretching back through this way. I go back and forth. Now I have some decreased mobility right now because, like I said, I had that fall when I was running. So this left AC joint is bothering me, but I just work through a comfortable, as best I can. And I'll just grab, and what I'll do is I'll just go back and forth, and as it warms up a little bit, I'll put the hands in just a little closer, and I'll go back and forth just like this. Then I'll even go in a little tighter, and sometimes I'll just hold it back like this, and just breathe and relax and just let the shoulders stretch out. I find this very helpful on my shoulders, especially in my particular case, and for mobility. Now, after I warmed up a little bit, I'll even take a light weight and put it on my broomstick, just like that. And I'll do more of those, you can call them, what do they call these? Like sometimes dislocates, they're not really dislocates, but going back and forth with a little bit of a light weight. This is good for mobility, but it also kind of helps strengthen the shoulders a little bit. And I'll just do it maybe for 10 or 12 repetitions with that light weight attached to it. And that feels awesome. That feels really good also. Then I'll take the broomstick and I'll kind of grip it like this. And I'll bring this arm and shoulder back and I'll tilt the head to the side. And I'll give it a stretch in this position. It's a little bit of a modified nerve flossing technique. A radial nerve floss is kind of like this motion, like this. So a lot of times, though, I just kind of I like this position. I feel like it really loosens it up. I stretch the shoulder back. I press my hand back as far as I can. I kind of guide it with the broomstick and I tilt the head to the side. And I'll just hang out in this position a little bit like that. And then, of course, I'm going to go to the other side, just like that. Sometimes I'll do actually just some almost like a modified nerve floss where I just go back and forth just like this. But even just holding it actually feels really good. Then I'll flip both wrists on the broomstick like that, and I'll bring the broomstick up, and I'll just bring it down comfortably like that. When I used to be a gymnast, we used to call these, when you're spinning around high bar, they used to call these an eagle grip. I can't believe I used to spin around the bar in this grip. Years. That was a long time ago. But anyway, so I'll just kind of loosen it up like that. Then I'll take the broomstick, I'll grab it this way, and I'll just kind of stretch out in this position like that. Right now I'm having with both shoulders, a little external rotation issues, but I'm just going to comfort. Always just stretch to a comfortable position. You don't want to be stretching where in any range of motion that actually is hurting you. I just try to find a comfortable position, find a little tension, and that's where I hang out for about 30 seconds. And I'll go this way, then of course we'll do the other side, and I'll hang out on this side a little bit and stretch out that way. And I'll just kind of put the broomstick down for a second. I'll do this type of a stretch where I just bring the arm across and stretch on each side. Everything, I know I'm walking through it a little quicker than normal, but everything I do here, I usually hold for about 30 seconds. And I usually try to take some deep breaths as I'm doing it. I come across. Then what I like to do with the broomstick is I'll grab like a pad, and I'll put the pad behind my head, and I'll bring my arms out. I won't grip the bar. I actually usually just put it at the bottom of my hands like this. And I use my head to just push back and stretch those shoulders. And I do a couple different positions. I actually do it like this where I push the head back. And then I think of like retracting the scapula and pulling them down. And as I pull them down, I push the head back again. So I'll kind of do it in this position where it's a little higher and stretch them out in this position. And then I'll kind of pull the scapula down. And again, I'll push the head back and I'll hold it in this position. Once again, this is a great stretch. It feels awesome when you get done doing it. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little stretch against the wall. Okay, I'll do the stretch against the wall where I'll actually take my hand, I'll flip it kind of upside down, I'll push it into the wall like this, and then I'll open up the shoulder like that. This is a great stretch for if you're dealing with any bicep tendonitis. It's a great stretch. Most people are very tight in internal rotation, so this is a great way to open up external rotation of the shoulder. And I'll hang out in this position 30 seconds once again, and then of course I'll switch and do the other side. Okay, then I usually come over to some type of a bar, and I'll stretch the shoulders in this direction, where I'll hold on to the bar, I'll sink in. I usually kind of like go back, go down like this, and just kind of open up those shoulders into extension and hang out. This is something I'll hang out a little longer than 30 seconds because I'll kind of change positions. I'll hang out a little bit in this position, then I'll come up, I'll try to sink in this way, I'll hold it, then I'll move the grip in a little bit. So I might do this particular stretch because I'm moving positions a little bit longer, but I'm trying to just work and open up that angle here of shoulder extension. And then I always like to grab on to something like this. I'll stretch back and I'll kind of rotate in like that. And I'll hang out in this position for about 30 seconds. It's a great stretch for the lats, it's a great stretch for the shoulders, and I'll just hang out in this position. Okay? And then it's up to you. Some days I'll do some dead hangs. I'll hang from the bar a little bit. Some people that might aggravate your shoulders. Some people might feel good. So whatever's best for you. But then sometimes I find that to be helpful also. But those are some of the general stretches I'll just run through before I train. And one other one I should show you, one of my favorites too. I don't want to forget. Let me move this again. Let me show you one other of my favorites. With the broomstick again, I'll put my elbows up on the bench, and I'll just kind of sink in this way and drop the torso down. And then what I'll do, I always do like a contract, relax on this type of stretch. So I'll sink down, and then after I've stretched for like 20, 30 seconds, then what I'll do is I'll push my elbows into the table, and I'll hold an isometric contraction for 10 seconds. So I'm pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, and then I'll breathe out, and I'll sink in a little deeper. I'll hold this position, and then after I'm done holding this position, again from this position, I'll push those elbows down, drive them down, 10 seconds, and then after you get done contracting, then relax again. And each time you do it, you notice you can sink in a little deeper and a little deeper. But that's another really good shoulder stretch that I always try to incorporate into my shoulder stretches. And then the last thing I usually do before I get training is I pick 2 different exercises for the external rotators or the posterior shoulder, because the muscles of the posterior shoulder, the external rotators like the infraspinatus and the teres minor, those are the muscles that give shoulder, that help or improve shoulder stability. And that's what we want, of course, is shoulder stability, because you can't have shoulder strength without shoulder stability. So what I do out of the whole library of different exercises, and I did a previous video before, not too long ago, on 10 different posterior shoulder exercises, but I try to just take 2 every day before I'm about to train, especially on a day if I'm doing upper body. And I'll pick 2 exercises and I'll do 3 sets. So before today's workout, I'll show you the 2 exercises I decided to do. One is the banded external rotation. So I stand here, I have the tension coming from down this way. Now, important part of this exercise is do it correctly. What I do is I stand up straight. I let the band kind of take my shoulder and roll it a little bit forward. And I break this exercise down into 2 parts. The first part is I roll that scapula back, and then I externally rotate into this position. So I try to go in a nice, slow, controlled manner so that I'm not just doing this, like you see sometimes people just going really fast, doing it like this. It doesn't do anything. I want to have my shoulder like this. I draw the scapula back. We want to strengthen those muscles that draw the scapula back. I externally rotate, and I bring it back. And that's a nice, slow, controlled movement that I do. Bring it back, squeeze, and then externally rotate. Bring it back, squeeze, externally rotate. High reps, low resistance, and I'll do 3 sets of those on each side. How many reps do I get? I actually do I do very high reps on this exercise. It's not unusual for me to do 25, 30 repetitions for each set, and I'll do 3 on each side. Okay, and for the second exercise, and I sometimes I choose these based on what my workout is. Now, today's workout is an arm workout, and so I picked this exercise because this is a great exercise for the posterior shoulder, and it's a great exercise actually if you're dealing with any bicep tendonitis. It's a good way to help your bicep tendonitis. So I'll grab a band like this. So this is like a 1/2-inch band, and I'll kind of double it like this, and I'll over grip the band like this with both hands like this. But then what I'll do is I'll flip my hands through like that. Okay, so that's the position I have the band, and then from here what I'll do is I'll grab 2 plates or 2 dumbbells, 2 plates, and I'll drop them down like this. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to pull those shoulder blades back just like that. So I'm holding like an isometric contraction on those external rotators and the posterior shoulder muscles. And as I'm holding that isometric contraction and I use just a lightweight, these are like 5-pound dumbbells, as I'll do a curl motion. Now through the whole curl motion, I'm thinking of pulling the plates apart. So I'm keeping that isometric contraction all the way up. I'm squeezing and I'm pushing those plates apart, and then I come back down. Nice, slow and controlled, just like that. Once again, I try to use a light, I'm only using 5-pound plates. The band is giving me constant tension. So I try to use a weight and a resistance that I'm going to get 20 good repetitions. Now on the 20th rep, what I do is I'll come up and I'll just hold for 10 seconds. I'll just keep trying to pull those plates apart, pull them apart, and I'll hold that for a final 10 count. Just like that. And I'll do 3 sets of those. That's an awesome exercise. I love doing that exercise, especially before bicep work. It just gets a lot of times bicep tendonitis problems, people are internally rotated. This helps strengthen, gets those shoulders back, and it helps keep those bicep tendons from getting impinged upon while you're doing your arm work. So anyways, that was the second workout, the second rehab exercise that I did before today's workout. Okay, had a great workout. Gonna do the weekly weigh-in, weekly physique update. Let's see where we're at. Okay, 145.2. So I actually lost a little. I was 146 last week. I know it's probably because my hip has been feeling better, so I'm starting to ramp up my running miles again. So I'm not actually, as I've mentioned before, I'm not trying to do a bulk and a cut. I'm just trying to get into the best shape of my life by my 60th birthday. And I'm just doing, I want to do everything. I want to do cardio, I want to lift, I want to just be fit, you know. So anyways, let's do a physique update. See how things are going. I've been enjoying the fact that I've been able to run more, because there was a while where I cut back the miles and I'm starting to slowly ramp up those miles on the runs. And it feels good. I love running. I feel like it's great for you. It's great for you. Just to stay in shape, stay fit. All right, see where we're at here. Okay, so 145.2. Okay. I've been enjoying, I mentioned this before, I've been enjoying the weekly posing. I hadn't posed much in the last few years, and I've been enjoying just squeezing everything after a workout. All right, so feeling good. Workouts have been going awesome. Feel like I've been getting stronger every week. Went over some food last week. Been eating really great. Great food plan's been going excellent. Feeling healthy, feeling strong. Up in the mileage. I'm actually going to go for a run later today, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Bring On 60. If you haven't done so already, take a moment right now, subscribe to my channel, OcraMed Health on YouTube. Click that little bell notification, it notifies you every time I upload a new video. Comments about exercises, injuries, or ideas that you might have for Bring On 60, just leave them below, and I'll try to do the best I can to get back to everybody. And if you haven't already, there's 3 other episodes of Bring On 60 out there, so if you haven't seen them and you're interested, check them out. And don't forget, OcraMed Health is here to keep you fit forever.